Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in to another live. Today, we're going to be talking about relationships, building strong foundations, navigating real estate as a couple. So, feel free and share the live with anyone that you know that might like it so they can learn a little bit more about real estate and how it can benefit them. I thank you all for tuning in to another live. It is greatly appreciated. You guys are the best. And really, I appreciate all of you sharing the live and telling your friends about it and following me online. I really do appreciate it. I am your realtor, Hugo, licensed with Long and Foster, North Potomac, Rockville. And give me 1 second. One of these little cameras over here just kaput on me. So we're just going to set you guys over here. There we go. And we adjust. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get started. Today, number one is going to be joint ownership versus individual ownership. Explore the pros and cons of owning property together as a couple or individually. Uh, in a relationship, of course, both of you are going to be disclosing, hopefully everything about the property, discussing the pros and cons of the property, hopefully making a decision 50-50. But it really does come down to what type of ownership you're going to have. Is one person going to buy it? Is the couple going to buy it? And are they married or not married? Those can really be all situations that can be explored when you're at that stage. If you're with your partner and maybe you're not married yet, you could decide, hey, we want this all to be the spouse or the significant other. So there are a lot of ways to make the transaction one party or both parties, and you have to decide that as a unit. Number two, financial planning for couples. How to navigate financial decisions and discussions when buying or selling real estate as a couple. There are tons of resources online that you can find that can help you start to get planners, calendars, Notion sheets, and spreadsheets and schedulers for you to start saving, start building up this rapport with your partner and significant other, and start talking about these things between you. Start normalizing what your partner and your goals are, what your end game is when it comes to real estate, and if it's in your cards, because for some couples it's not a high priority. They would much rather go and travel than have real estate or have it lying around. I can make all the arguments until I'm blue in the face about how good real estate can be for a couple, but if it doesn't fit into their lifestyle or where they're going to be in the next 5 years, it just doesn't make sense. So financial planning for couples is by far a great step to take when it comes to starting out this process and deciding, hey, are we aligned with what we want to do? Number three, communication strategies for home buyers and home buying. Tips for effective communication between partners throughout the home buying process. You would hope that the real estate agent, your realtor, would be someone that is well versed in communication, but not everyone is that lucky. So you really have to control the factors that you can control. And one of those factors is definitely how you communicate with your partner during the process. There are tons of books now, and I'm sure there are tons of resources online about what are some best practices for you to do when it comes to your partner from a male's perspective as well as from a female perspective, I'm sure. But communication is by far super important. There are going to be a few more other reasons further down below that communication really matters, because it's really the foundation that starts the whole one transaction, but also the continued success of the relationship. Because if both parties are on the same page, they can build from that foundation. Whereas when one party here and one party there and not everyone aligned on the same mission, it can cause for a very rough settling period where things could shake out and shake down and shake apart. So we don't want to put you in those situations. We want to always, build on steady ground. And the best way to do that is to try to educate yourself on how you can improve yourself for this process. And that takes us to number four. You have to really have a lot of self awareness and balancing wants and needs. Discussing how couples can prioritize their preferences and requirements when searching for a home. Wants and needs. Wants are things such as, like, probably good schools, good, you know, amenities, good shopping centers, close to local transportation, in a high value area, nice property. There are needs: a roof, four bedrooms, three bathrooms, a basement, in law suite, land, a place for my dog, a place for my cat. Those are all things that are needs. I will always, always, always err on the side of you taking care of your needs before anything else. It's really the pyramid of self-actualization. You have to take care of the bottom rungs, your shelter, your necessities, and having the right number of rooms, having the right number of floors, having the right location, and having the things that are top priority as your needs and concentrating on those will really be your guiding light. I'm very much sure that in most markets you probably won't find everything that you need, or maybe, hopefully in a perfect world you do, but typically you don't find everything all in one package. There's always something missing, and it's either the affordability, it's either the quality, or it's either what's already, the bare bones of the structure. It's a kind of a pyramid of things that end up happening. You can't have all three things at the same time, but you can balance the things that you know that you need and the things that you can live without until the next transaction. Because this is the other thing too, that if we do this transaction correctly, this will not be the first transaction that you do. It will be one of many. Remember, I, as a realtor, am here to empower you to make smart decisions. So whenever you feel ready to sell a home, you can do that. Whenever you feel ready to buy a home, you can do that, because now you're empowered. You know what you have to get ready on your reports, what you have to get ready in the bank, how to do the closing, how to do the bidding, how to do everything. By the second transaction, you're a pro. But really, the realtor is there to help you and assist you with all the options to view, the best advisor to view all the options with you in a perfect world. So that's who should be helping you in your counsel. You can, of course, have other people assist you on these lists of priorities, but at the end of the day, you are going to be the person that's going to be living in the property. You are going to be the one that's going to be paying the mortgage. So keep that in mind. Number five, preparing for life changes, planning for major life events like marriage, starting a family, or retirement when considering real estate investments. I personally will always suggest that you never buy real estate with someone that you're not married to, at least not together. If you want to buy, real estate, and then, one person stays here, the other person stays there, I'm sure, that's a little bit better. But really, if you're moving in together, it sounds like you're pretty much gonna get married soon, or, on the way to that. So I would suggest, at least from my point of view, you get married and then buy the property under both of your names and have both titles. That way, it's more certain for everyone. It's more even for everyone, so to speak. It's more, fair, I would say. If anything, God forbid, does happen. And those are things that you don't want to talk about, but need to be discussed and need to be normalized as active discussions that go forward, because we're getting to a time in personally my life where I'm dealing with a lot of these questions now, and happening with what will happen with tomorrow and where will these things go. So setting up a plan when everything is on the up and up is really probably one of the best things you can do, because when things are on the downward slope, it's always very difficult to get those things situated and done. But we can do a whole discussion about estate planning, and I would love to get an estate planner on to talk about something like that, because I think it's something that's not talked about enough. But again, is out of my scope of business. So, I would definitely suggest that you look up a lawyer, look up somebody that can help you with estate planning, and it's worth getting a consultation. Just like a realtor helps you with houses, estate planning helps you with your estate. Let's continue. Number 6, investing in real estate together, exploring different investment strategies for couples interested in investing in real estate ventures. You could partner in real estate, you could put down payments in real estate, you can go into a group venture, you can, network with a couple of friends. It's all about trust. Remember, Bitcoin, the dollar, houses, agreements, contracts, it's all based on trust. And the fact that I said I was going to do this and we did this. It's You got it, and you have a piece of paper in the middle that clarifies it all, everything to everybody. So it really is a imperative that you understand that there are lots of ways to do business in real estate. So don't pigeonhole yourself. Um, Explore your options, but be aware that every option comes with its pros and cons. If you're going to work together as a unit, you know, all best, you know, hopes for you. But really keep it like that. Keep working together as a unit. There are some things we're going to talk about in a couple more, bullets, but it can get very tough. So you just have to remember that above anything, that this is a couple, you're a relationship. You didn't get together for money. I hope. I hope that you got together for something more substantial than just money. But you know, through sickness and through health. So I hope that the venture doesn't undo your marriage, and that's really the thing you want to avoid more than anything else. The black plague of doing real estate with your significant other is that, of course, it's doing possible business with someone that you care about, and that sometimes can get messy if things don't go well, regardless of whether or not you plan or don't plan. Divorces happen, things happen, people pass away. So yeah, it's a lot to take in all at once, but these are conversations you have to start having with your significant other, and share your points of view on them, discuss them, and see if they're deal breakers, see if they're things that are maybe something you want to reconsider, because if those views don't align, then there needs to be some sort of compromise there. Something needs to meet in the middle. Number 7, creating a home together. Tips for blending personal style and preference to create a shared living space that reflects both partners. It is going to be difficult to kind of blend both, especially if you've been single for a long time. You'll each have your own little trinkets and things. But over time, and I'm sure over the course of you spending more time in the same home, you will start to accumulate memories and things together. So being thoughtful of your partner's space and your partner's things, their belongings, um, really their sense of identity, because you have to respect that they had their own space before they chose to move in with you, and that comes with its pros and cons, like I always say. But you have to be willing to acknowledge that person's energy, acknowledge that they are going to have their good days, they're going to have their bad days, you're going to see everything for this person. So yeah, create a home together, show each other grace, and love each other, really care about each other. That's why you need something more than just cash to keep you together, because um you know it can get very lonely when it's just cold hard cash in between you. Number, what are we, 8, navigating relocation, discussing the challenges and opportunities couples face when relocating for career or lifestyle reasons. promotions happen, lifestyle changes happen. Someone might get sick, someone might, get pregnant, someone, could end up getting a great job, someone could end up going to school. These are all things that you're going to have to face as a couple. And sometimes, there's that saying that we make plans as humans and God laughs. You don't want to feel like the fates are working against you. So at times you have to acknowledge that there are things that are just out of your control. It's really the best you can do. You plan for the best and, prepare for the worst. It's really about you and your mindset. Things will go well if you plan and prepare and are diligent and work hard. It really is the fact of the matter. You have to be consistent and show up. And a lot of that takes being present in your relationships and your job and striving for more. No one gets to the top of Mount Everest by just settling at a peak. You there are several points where you have to keep rising and climbing. And yeah, you have to discuss the challenges that might happen at those junctures. You can't tell the future. But if that's something that your partner is interested in, something that they're looking forward to is traveling, then maybe buying real estate together is not the best idea. Number 9, estate planning and real estate. Explore how couples can incorporate real estate assets into their estate planning strategies. You could each have condos, you could have townhouses, you could have a single family home. It could be the home that you first bought, it could be part of your portfolio. I've known so many investors that have made such a retirement safe haven for themselves that it really is astonishing to see nowadays. For example, I know a very prominent couple in the area. They have 50 properties to their name. Phenomenal, phenomenal. Like 50 different rent checks coming in a month. And it was not something that was done overnight. One spouse left it to the other spouse, and now everything's taken care of. Everything was planned, accordingly. That's what made me realize that when you take your time to do things calmly and correctly and over time and slowly and start planning and start really being methodic about where it's going to go, how it's going to go, you can really take care of yourself and many generations to come. So estate planning and real estate planning, joining those two together as part of your portfolio, can really create that generational wealth that we always speak about. It's not going to be easy, because if it was, everybody else would do it. But it's not just about getting the house, it's about keeping it and making a portfolio out of it. Number 10, maintaining relationships healthy during stressful times. Strategies for managing stress and maintaining a healthy relationship during your major real estate transaction or life changes. I could go on all day about what you could do to make these things easier and make it more accessible. But at the end of the day, your relationship better than anyone else. And it really comes down to your communication styles. How do you communicate? How is it that you feel when these big changes do occur? How do you come up with solutions that meet both of your needs? Because remember, it's not just about one party winning, it's about both parties really coming to a compromise and knowing that they're in it for the long haul. No one wants to get into a mortgage that's 30 years with the expectation that you're going to lose the house in two. That's not really what anyone wants to do. But if you're a joint unit, if you're a team, you can face anything. You can overcome any obstacle. I was very fortunate 2 years ago to meet a couple that bought a house. Unfortunately, they didn't like the house. They had all these plans to renovate the house and flip the house. The missus got pregnant, so they can't do the renovations while the missus is pregnant. So they have to sell the house. They sold the house. They moved out of there. They went somewhere else. It was hard. It was difficult. But they did it. they did it when you put your mind to it and you have someone in your corner like a significant other. The world is unstoppable. So I commend all of you for trying out real estate and for doing it with a partner, because it is very tough to work with anyone, let alone someone that you sleep and eat and you know do everything with. Business is business, and when it comes to real estate does come to a lot of big numbers, and people start to see chings, and it can get very dicey. So if you're just joining us right now, I'm trying not to teach you how to be not a gold digger, I guess. No. Today we're talking about building strong foundations, navigating real estate as a couple, and the top 10 things were joint ownership versus individual ownership. Number two, financial planning for couples. Number three, communication strategies for home buying. Number four, balancing wants and needs. Number five, preparing for life changes. Number six, investing in real estate together. Number seven, creating a home together. Number eight, navigating relocation. And number nine, estate planning and real estate. Lastly, number 10, maintaining relationships healthy during stressful times. These topics can provide valuable insight into your own relationship and how you can cover your bases, so to speak, so that you're not going into this transaction blind, thinking that, it's not going to have an impact on your relationship. This is huge. You're buying a house, it's not a burger. Like, really, you're doing something great. And most people, when they embark on this, are overwhelmed. So support each other, help each other, be there for each other. And if you need more clarification, more, expertise, talk to your realtor, confide in them, and try to meet a middle ground, because sometimes they can be the catalyst that helps synthesize some of these conversations and helps to really bridge the gap between the wants, the needs, his, hers, the kids, the dog, the cat, and everything else. That's what we're trained to do. So I appreciate you all personally. My name is Hugo Quintanilla. I am a licensed realtor in Maryland with Long and Foster, North Potomac, Rockville. Feel free and reach out if you'd like some more clarification. And thank you for tuning in. Tonight we were on Facebook, YouTube, X, LinkedIn, Instagram, and all that. So leave your questions, comments, concerns on your platform of choice. I will see you tomorrow for another live. And yeah, be safe out there. Stay positive. We are looking like it's going to be a very, very busy spring market. So be prepared. Stay ready. Start working on your financial planning, because there are going to be tons of opportunities. Everyone's trying to build housing. So hopefully we're going to start to see prices coming down, and more supply on the market. But it all depends. So keep your head up, keep saving, and I will see you all tomorrow. Okay? Take care. Bye.